there, it's Heather with Jumping Spiders USA. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/groups/Jumping Spiders USA. And before we get started, you can go ahead and give this video a like and then subscribe and then click the bell so you get all updates for future content. Comment, let us know how you're doing out there, how your spiders are doing. So this evening's video is going to be pretty short, but I just wanted to get on here and talk about the #1 rule of jumping spider ownership. The #1 rule: don't worry. I know that is much easier said than done, especially, if you're new to the hobby, you're new to jumping spiders, this is your first jumping spider. It is super easy to worry, super hard not to worry. I was there, even though I kept tarantulas for a number of years before, I've been interested in spiders for a very long time. It was still, the jump from, one kind of spider to another, even still, I did my fair share of worrying. So #1 rule, don't worry. Partly because if you're giving them all their basic necessities, if you're feeding them, if you're watering them, if you've given them, ample space and appropriate food, and you're recreating what their wild life is like, aside from that, one of the beautiful things about jumping spiders is that they are so low maintenance. They're so low maintenance, but like high fun. They're like a very high yield pet. Low maintenance, high yield, lots of fun. But with that said, really, it's a wild animal. Even if your spider is captive bred from a reputable breeder who has like 72 generations before them, even still, jumping spiders aren't domesticated. They're wild animals. And like I was saying, like if you've given them all their basic necessities, if you're giving them a good life, there's really not much you can do for them one way or the other. You can't really mess this up if you're following all the basics. You can't really mess it up. And if something does go wrong in a spider, which hardly ever happens, but if something ever does go wrong, there's really not anything that you can do. So honestly, #1 rule, it's best just not to worry. Do your best, give them all the things that they need, and then just don't worry about it. And that will come easier the longer that you have spiders. Honestly, everything that they do, they know exactly what they're doing, even if you don't. Even if you have absolutely no clue what they're doing, they know exactly what they're doing. They still have those wild instincts. They haven't been bred out of them. These are wild animals. They're not domesticated. Even if they're friendly and, want to like play puppy and walk around on your hand, they're still not a domesticated creature. And they still have those instincts. They know exactly what they're doing. So if you're worried that they're not eating on your timetable, if they're hungry, they'll eat. If they're thirsty, they'll drink. When it's time to molt, they'll molt. And they'll go in. A lot of people do have worries around molts. Because sometimes spiders are in there a lot longer than you think they should be. But again, they know what they're doing, even if you don't. So just let them do their thing. Make sure that you've got access to a great care guide. We have one, I wrote one, and you can have access to it in the Facebook Jumping Spider group. I'll make sure that I'll post that link, when I edit the video. But there's a great and complete care guide that I wrote in there, and provided that you're following that, you can't really go wrong. And so just don't worry. They know what they're doing, even if you don't. I'm rooting for you. Good luck.